Good evening and welcome back to the show. We hope you enjoyed that report about the World Travel Expo. And now we're joined by our second guest for this evening, Dr. Khadijة Nadhr, who's the CEO of United Laboratories Company. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you.
But I really understand that you have a few things you want to talk about, but if we could just inform our viewers what United Laboratories Company is about and what kind of different services they offer.
Actually, first of all, I would like to thank you both actually for giving me this opportunity to be with you today, actually to highlight on some very important issues regarding the health awareness campaign which we are participating in. Actually, this next coming week. Actually, I would like to give you an idea about United Laboratories Company. We are biggest company providing laboratory services in both dental and medical. Actually, our company was established in 2004, actually to giving, and we put actually our main goals to reach the international standards in our work actually. We work hard for those two goals actually. The first one was to improve actually the kind of services we are providing the laboratory in Kuwait actually, especially in the private sector. That's why actually we work hard to reach the international accreditation like College of American Pathologists actually, to be the first lab in Kuwait actually to have that accreditation. Beside that, we had the ISO accreditation 15189 as well. In addition to that, actually, we started to make some important presence in the private market by opening continuing education and training department, which giving courses to all laboratory technicians and technologists in the private sector as well. The second goal actually is to minimize the number of laboratory testings we are sending outside Kuwait. Because we do believe we are living in Kuwait, is a rich country, our capability is very good actually. We can find the manpower, the qualified people to run those tests actually. And we did a great job in that actually. That's why we added a lot of laboratory testing in our menu.
Like there's a lot of new medical checkups, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Share with us some of that, please.
Actually, the first test which is we added in the private sector here, which is available only in United Laboratories, is not anywhere else in the whole Kuwait, is the neonatal screen. Actually, this is what we are testing the babies on their first week of their life. Actually, they are testing for around 45 genetic disorders. I mean, because it's very important actually to discover some of those genetic testing in the first week of delivery, because if you deny those or if you miss those diagnoses actually, so we will reach with genetic disorders for life. The baby will carry it on for his life. And simply it can be like, if we're talking about any amino acid disorder, it's very easy from the early days of delivery actually, like the baby will be treated nicely and he will be a normal person later in life. Actually, this is one of the biggest one actually we are doing now, and even now we are doing other tests like for celiac disease, and we are doing vitamin D as well in a very sophisticated method.
D, yeah.
Yes, actually the methodology we are using is like a unique, and it's the gold standard method, we call it, is HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, where we can measure both vitamin D2 and D3, because the vitamin D can come from the sun and it can come from actually food we are eating. So now we are the only one giving the measurement of those two vitamins actually, and it will help the doctors actually to know exactly if the patient, if he is under treatment, if he's responding to his medication. If he's giving D2 or D3, it will be more easier to know rather than measuring the total vitamin D. Also, actually, we brought a new test to Kuwait. We call it food print test actually now. This will measure actually the food, we call it the late effect of allergic effect of food. We call it IgG, depend on the IgG technology. When we eat something like, we call it IgE, with the quick reaction of food. If we eat something like, we'll get like,
rash,
swallowing of the lips or rash, or but I mean there are another type of food allergy, which we call it delayed effect of food. That means if we eat something today, maybe it will take another 2 to 3 days or 1 week for the reaction to come. So this test is very helpful actually for a health style profile, which is, if you do the test, you can avoid actually those kind of tests, which is actually affect badly on the health.
This is very useful, especially in this day and age where people are like confused between different diets and they don't know which one to choose. This is perfect for them.
Yeah. This test actually, it is very important as well for the autistic children and the hyperactive children actually, because there is now doctors are having variety of very different ideas how to deal with those autistic children. Some people or some doctors now believe on effect of food in those children actually, because if they like keep them away from some kind of food, so definitely they will find a big difference in their behavior, in their mentality, in their progress. It's not a full treatment, but it's part of the treatment of those actually children as well. And we always, even in our United Laboratories now, we open this training program and continuing education. In that actually we are releasing United updates where we can distribute to all the private and the governmental laboratories actually to educate the laboratory technologists and the lab in charge. We will tell them about the new tests available, not only locally but as well internationally. So this is in general actually our lab.
So a lot going on at United Laboratories Company. And at the top of the interview, you did touch on a campaign coming up next week.
Yes.
Maybe you could shed some light on it. I think it's the Be Healthy campaign.
Be Healthy campaign.
Tell us a little bit about that campaign and United Laboratories and who they're collaborating with and everything about that.
Actually, we do believe there's an important, task for us actually to educate people about when to do laboratory testing, about the special tests for age grouping as well for the people. We participated previously in so many campaigns, and we feel that we should have a part in that. And actually, we have been lately approached by the investor group company who are arranging that actually health awareness campaign, Be Healthy. It will be held on 360 Mall starting from next Wednesday on the 29th of May. It will last for 3 days actually, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And we will be, the timing of that actually, it will be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. On that campaign, actually, we will, as a United Laboratories company, we will provide some free laboratory testing for public, and we will be as well giving them as well some brochures, like discounted brochures to do vitamin D, let's say, and other testing with a high discount. Maybe it will reach to 25% on those actually laboratory testings, and we will be actually, our team will be there because we are, as a laboratory, we are running 6 laboratories in the private sector. So our professional people from all the company will be participating in that to give advice to the people.
Answering the questions of the visitors.
Yes. Anyone who would like to ask any question about when to do the test, what kind of test he's supposed to do, and we will be available there to answer all their questions as well. Yeah.
So who is this campaign particularly geared towards, or is it just for anybody of all ages?
For actually all the people, starting from young children to the adult actually. Everybody is welcome to visit us there actually. We will be there helping them actually and answering all their questions as well actually. Yeah.
And Doctor, you touched on vitamin D quite a few times now during this interview. Vitamin D, it seems like everyone here has low vitamin D.
Yes.
Even though vitamin D, I think part of that comes with the sunlight and the sun that we have here, and we have a lot of sun here.
Yes.
So why is it that almost everyone has low vitamin D in Kuwait?
Actually, vitamin D, it's now recently only, it came actually like into the surface, and everybody is running to test himself for vitamin D, because nowadays actually there are a lot of research connecting the vitamin D not only with osteoporosis, it's connected as well with other diseases, starting from cancer, just name it.
So it's very important.
Yes, it is very important. And actually, in Kuwait, as you mentioned, is really true. We have a lot of sun, and how comes we have that? Actually, first of all, our lifestyle here, because it's too hot actually to go out and sit in the summer outside in the sun. This is one of the drawbacks. People are running away from the sun actually to the shade. Second thing, like, our traditional dressing as well, it's affecting that, because we are all covered.
Really
so some actually doctors say it's the face and the hand is enough. If you expose yourself to like 20 minutes 3 times per week, it will be enough. But unfortunately, even we are not having that chance in Kuwait. So this is one of the drawbacks. In Europe, let's say, whenever people will have a little sun, they will go all to the sun, and they want to grab those actually opportunities from the sun. And I think this is the main thing here in Kuwait. It's a very good question, yeah.
And hopefully with some more of these awareness campaigns and this make people aware of how important vitamin D is.
Yes, it is really very important. That's why we are distributing a very discounted brochure for vitamin D, and encouraging people to measure their vitamin D, because it is really a very important test to be done. It's not only for adult people, but even starting from children. Then there will be a follow-up by seeing a doctor. Then we will be measuring again after, let's say, 6 months the vitamin D, and see how the progress is. It is one of the very important tests.
Is calcium important, to have a lot of calcium products that helps with vitamin D?
Actually, because they work as a balance.
Okay.
For us, vitamin D and calcium and parathyroid hormone, there is a package for osteoporosis normally we are doing actually.
Yeah, they go hand in hand usually.
Yes, yes. So normally we do advise people, what to do and when to do. And there are as well some packages.
What are some tips, as you're with us right now, for people who may have a low vitamin D? Besides the sun, what else can they do? Any supplementary things that they can do?
Actually, for vitamin D, the majority of concentration, or the high concentration of vitamin D, comes from the sun. There are some kind of food, but less amount of vitamin D, but it is there, like salmon, like other vegetables. They do have some kind of vitamin D, but it's the main is the sun actually. And those with the deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, we advise them to take supplement actually. Yes.
Okay, well, as we're coming towards the end of our interview this evening, Dr. Khadija, do you have any last comments or words for our audience watching the program tonight?
Actually, my advice as CEO in United Laboratories, actually I do advise people to go ahead for a regular checkup especially adult, after 40, 35 and onwards.
When you say regular checkup, what, once a year?
Once a year, or even every 6 months.
And
from 6 months to 1 year.
And what is that, like full blood work, chemistry? What do you recommend?
Yes, it depends on the age group actually. For male, we do advise after 34 or 45 or in that kind of age, we do advise them to do full checkup, like liver function test, lipid profile, kidney function test, sugar, and we do an analysis of the cholesterol, the high density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, which we call it good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, in addition to the iron, hemoglobin, urine routine, and even we do advise men to do a special test for prostate, actually to check early if there's any problem with the prostate, because this is a very common actually disease as well, and even with vitamin D. For female, it's almost the same, but we will concentrate on hormonal profile as well, you know, in certain age as well. In addition to what we said, of course, we have to avoid the
Well,
prostate.
this is a lot of information, I think, for our viewers to take in. So if you could just remind them of this Be Healthy campaign that will be held at 360, because I'm sure after this episode they have a lot of questions to ask. So could you just remind them again of the
When will it be?
campaign?
Yes, actually the health awareness program will be held, Be Healthy, under the name of Be Healthy, actually arranged by investor groups, and we will be participating on next Wednesday on the 29th, and it will be for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, 29th, 30 and 31st, and we will be available to answer all their concern and questions about the laboratory testings, and we will give them the advice they need.
At 360 Degrees Mall.
360 Mall, yes.
Great.
Yes.
And
yes.
there's also a website, I believe you have a website?
Yes, we
What
have.
can be seen on that also? Tell us about that.
Actually, our website is www.unitedlabs.com.kw.
It's on the screen right there. Yes.
Yes, actually in that website you can see all our activities, and actually we do some updates from time to time, what kind of new testing, what kind of activity you are doing, so it will be there available for everybody.
Well, at the end of our interview, Dr. Khadija, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you and all the team at United Laboratories all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your